Venom: The Last Dance promised a grand finale to the unique and often chaotic relationship between Eddie Brock and the alien symbiote, Venom. I would appreciate if you like this video and subscribe to see more of my reviews and recommendations. Arriving after the events of Let There Be Carnage, expectations were high. Fans hoped for a satisfying resolution to the storylines established in previous movies. Could The Last Dance deliver a fitting end to this unusual anti-hero's journey? Unfortunately, the film feels more like a misstep than a confident stride towards a satisfying conclusion. It struggles to capture the same chaotic energy that made its predecessors, despite their flaws, entertaining. The Last Dance stumbles through a convoluted plot, lacking the heart and humor that defined the previous Venom films. The film throws viewers into a time-bending narrative. Eddie and Venom find themselves transported back to 1987 San Francisco. They are thrust into a conflict with a new villain, a twisted reflection of Venom with a vendetta against humanity. Amidst this chaos, Eddie must confront his past demons and make sense of his unusual predicament. The time travel element, while initially intriguing, ends up feeling more like a narrative crutch than a well-integrated plot device. The film struggles to balance its present-day consequences with its convoluted past. Venom. The Last Dance suffers in comparison to its predecessors. While Venom, 2018, and Let There Be Carnage, 2021, were far from perfect, they embraced a certain chaotic energy that resonated with audiences. The humor was dark, the action was over the top, and the relationship between Eddie and Venom, though dysfunctional, was undeniably entertaining. The Last Dance lacks this same spark. The humor feels forced, the action sequences lack punch, and the emotional core of the film, the bond between Eddie and Venom, feels underdeveloped and unearned. Section 4. A few sporadic laughs. The Last Dance does have its moments. The film's saving grace, as with its predecessors, is the comedic chemistry between Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock and the voice of Venom. Their back-and-forth banter, while not as sharp or frequent as in previous films, still elicits a few chuckles. The soundtrack, too, deserves some credit. The blend of heavy metal and electronic music injects a much-needed sense of energy into the action sequences. However, these sporadic bright spots are not enough to salvage the film's overall lackluster execution. Section 5. Lost in the narrative abyss. Venom. The Last Dance suffers from an identity crisis. It's unclear what kind of film it wants to be. The time travel element feels out of place. The villain lacks depth, and the overall tone is muddled. The film feels more like a generic action flick than a superhero movie. The action sequences, while plentiful, lack the visceral impact one expects from a Venom film. The visual effects, though competent, fail to impress. Overall, The Last Dance lacks the distinct visual flair that made the previous films stand out. Section 6. A glimmer in the darkness? The film does offer a glimmer of hope in its post-credit scenes. Without giving too much away, the scenes hint at potential future storylines and connections to the wider Marvel Cinematic Universe. While these brief glimpses offer a tantalizing taste of what could be, they also serve as a reminder of the missed opportunities present in The Last Dance. The film feels less like a satisfying conclusion and more like a stepping stone to something potentially more interesting down the line. Ultimately, Venom Saswa. The Last Dance is a disappointing end to this chapter of the Venom saga. It's a film that tries to do too much and ends up doing very little well. Rating: 5.5 out of 10.